Hi, in this video, I'm going to demonstrate a technique to reuse resultant dataset from a Adhoc cache in a domain report created in Jasper Studio. Often our user have the report layout with multiple report elements, and those report elements are using the same dataset, same table and the data. The only difference is perhaps the selection criteria, such as the case in this sample report. We only have one sub-dataset, and we have few table elements, table 1, table 2, table 3. The only difference between those table display is the selection criteria. Parameter 1 for this table is equal to y, and for the second table, selection criteria is n, the third one is blank. So in this case, if your report is a domain-based report, what I mean is when you create a new report, you are using domain as the data source. If your report is using domain as your report data source, you can change the way to reconstruct your domain to utilize the cache. Jasper Report Server has this cache feature for the ad hoc report, domain-based or topic-based, to reuse the SQL query from a previous execution if your SQL query are the same. So what does that mean? In this report, let's look at the sub-dataset, which is the one to feed those three tables. You can see this domain data source has some fields and also have a filter. The filter is basically injected into the domain SQL query. Each time you run this report, you pass a different value, right? Parameter value. Which means each time you run this report to feed these individual tables, your domain SQL query is different. So how, in this case, we will not be able to reuse the SQL query from a previous run. So what you want to do is to not select your parameter at the SQL level, but rather to push it down to the report level. So what you can do in a different version of this report, similar layout, the data source is different. There's no filter, but rather we filter out the data through the filter expression, which will be carried out at the Jasper report engine level. So the syntax for the report selection is basically saying, you're coming to here. The first one is not really important just because we don't want to display a lot of data. The second part is very important. So basically what you're saying is you want to have your data set from the domain, the field name, equal to whatever the selection criteria you are having. So with this approach, you will see we can reuse the ad hoc cache resultant dataset from a previous run. So in this case, instead of running 3 separate queries, we will only run this query once and then reuse it. So let's test this one to see what happens. So we have a report 1 and report 2. Report 1 have multiple queries, and report 2, we're reusing it. Okay, so let's log into Jasper Report Server and run the test. run the first one. Let's make sure we clear the cache so we can see. Okay, timeout. Sorry. Clear the cache. Oh, we don't. Okay, good. Let's run this report one. Okay, this one we'll inject the selection criteria directly into the domain SQL query. You have 3 different flavors of this table, and look at the selection and look at the ad hoc cache. It has multiple. So each one you can see is different. This one, the code equal to blank, is in a 5 last in, first out. So the second one is the N. Okay. And this one is the Y. Okay. So with the technique as I then demonstrated in the report design in the studio, the second report will filter out this parameter value inside report engine rather than in the SQL query for the domain. So let's look at the generated SQL only once, and it reuse it because we don't have any selection criteria in there. So that's all I want to show you, how to make this technique work in order to reuse the cached resultant data set from a previous run query. And I suggest user to read Jasper Report Server Admin Guide, section 8.4.6, with regard to ad hoc cache management to get more detail on this feature. And thank you for watching.